All right, good afternoon, everybody. I am Wendy Peliquin, and I will be your moderator today. Thank you for attending the Vision Zero Safer Streets for Charlotte session. Our speaker today is Jon Shaben. Jon has worked for the Charlotte Department of Transportation for 19 years. He worked in the long-range travel demand model before his current position, where he now maintains the crash data for the city of Charlotte. He has a Bachelor's of Science from Oregon State University and a Master's in Planning from the University of Tennessee. For continuing education credit, please make sure your name is correct on your Zoom login. This session is being recorded and will be available on the conference website after the event. At the end of this presentation and questions, there will be a poll, and we request that everyone participate in the poll and provide feedback. And we ask that you hold your questions until the end of the presentation. During the presentation, if you would like to put them in the chat, we will get to them at the end as time allows. If we aren't able to get to all of them, Jon will be following up later on after we get a copy of the transcript. So with that, Jon, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Wendy. Again, my name is Jon Shaben from the Charlotte Department of Transportation. And this presentation is about how we used ArcGIS to develop our Vision Zero initiative. So for those who may not know what Vision Zero is, it is a strategy to eliminate all traffic fatalities and severe injuries while increasing safe, healthy, equitable mobility for all. These are the number of crashes in Charlotte in 2015 and 2019. Vision Zero concentrates on the KSI, or killed serious injury crashes. There are a total of 733 along that time frame. When a crash happens, an officer creates a crash report for the DMV. The city gets a daily upload of the new crashes from their database so we can geolocate the crash. As you can see on the map, crashes are happening everywhere, and it's hard to make sense of what is going on, which is why Vision Zero concentrates on the fatal and serious injury crashes. This is over the past 5 years, is the number of serious injury and fatality crashes that the city of Charlotte has had. Normally there's more serious injury than fatality, and they have their ups and downs. From the KSI crashes and the line layer, you can create the high injury network. This is a replacement from the high accident location table that the city used to use, which was more of an intersection-based system. This is more of a corridor-based system. And you can see from the map the corridors that are created and the links that show the number of crashes, or the intensity of the crashes, which the high injury network, where all the fatalities and all the serious injury crashes, encompasses only 9% of the total street network for the city. When developing the high injury network, I reviewed several cities and found there was no one way to create the high injury network. So after discussing several options with the team, we ended up adding weight to each one of the crashes depending on the mode and severity. So like I said, it's 1 for a vehicle serious injury crash, 3 for a bike and ped, and 5 for a fatality regardless of the mode. I then used a line of Python to fill in the weight for each crash, and then use spatial join to sum the KSI crashes for each link. The link were a layer created by joining a street name for a street and then splitting each into equal distant links of a max of half a mile. Okay. And this is the current high injury network. We've hosted on ArcGIS Online. As you can see, the darker red has had several fatalities. The lighter red is at least 1 fatality or multiple serious injury crashes. The orange, bike and ped, and the yellow is just serious injury crash, vehicle serious injury crashes. Back to, yeah. An important part of Vision Zero is community involvement. both with events and also with using ArcGIS Online. These are pictures of some of the events that the city attended or hosted. We also had a large map to where people, if they had issues and they didn't have a way of getting the issues from the people, they could come there and look on the map, point at it, say, you know, this such and such is happening at this location, and we can write that down. Then we also had our public comment map. And this is a map to where people can go online and put in an issue that they might have seen, to where they can add a comment, click on it, tell what they were doing, if they were walking, biking, whatever, click on the location. And they can also select, like, they saw someone was distracted driving. Click on that, so they can put on their zip code to where they were from, and then they can hit report, and it will go. And it will go, it will record it, and then we can tabulate it later. We use the high injury network to identify local streets with a speed limit of more than 25 miles an hour for traffic calming, for uses such as speed humps or for traffic circles. We created prioritized corridors, and there are streets that have a high KSI total, and they are identified for more focused education plans, as also as engineering improvements like pedestrian hybrid beacons, and for enforcement areas for CMPD. And CMPD found it's very useful when they're planning their events for the year. We also used it to identify schools that are located on the HIN, to prioritize installation of traffic calming near the schools. And you can see this is an example of a sign plan that goes around for a school zone. We also used it to identify corridors for streetlight upgrades, used to determine the wattage and intensity when changing out high pressure sodium to LED lights. We overlaid the high injury network with the zoning parcels, and so we could adjust the lights for commercial districts, be bright, and dim them for residential areas, and also install shields so we can focus light on the street rather than being in someone's living room. Just to sum up on how we use ArcGIS, we created the high injury network with ArcMap. We just display the high injury network on ArcGIS Online. We collected the public comments with crowdsourced reporter, and then also created the various section sets and shapefiles with ArcGIS Pro. And that. You can get the high injury network from, if you Google Charlotte Open Data Portal, you can get the high injury network there. Or if you Google Charlotte Vision Zero, you can get to the Vision Zero webpage, and then you can get the links to the public map and for the ArcGIS version of the high injury network. That is all that I have. Do you have any questions that have come up?
Patty Dukes wants to know if you have partnered with the Charlotte Art League to paint the roundabouts.
That honestly, I don't actually know the partners. I wasn't part of the committee that did that, but I can answer for that. My boss, Angela Berry, she'll know the answer to that. I knew there was a bunch of partners that we had to do that, and I don't know the exact ones that were.
It looks like Angela replied in the chat that those were done by the communities. Do we have any other questions?
Thank you, Angela.
Okay, next question from Nancy Ross. What are you doing with the jaywalking reports? says that she entered several around Remount/West intersection.
For those who see why people are jaywalking, and either would have to go through an intercept survey to go out there and, you know, physically ask people, you know, why are you walking across the street here rather than using the sidewalk, or using the crosswalks. And also we also do corridor studies to where we look at the instances of people jaywalking or crashes that are happening in the mid-block. And then we try to figure out what the distance, if there's not a crosswalk, that's when we use the highway hybrid pedestrian beacon to cut the amount of, cut the distance between two intersections to give it a safe crossing across the street.
So it looks like she had added to her initial question with the statement, there's a crosswalk nearby, but they're leaving from the convenience store. Okay, are there any other questions for Jon? Looks like there are no additional questions and no one has their hand raised in the participant window. So everyone, thank you for joining us today. And don't forget, a poll is about to pop up and we just ask that you complete that poll. And Jon, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.